now it's time to start our today Servas Peace Forum. And today our topic is working together to grow Servas. Very important topic to us. Let's have our president, Radha, to say some words first. Welcome, Radha.
Thank you, May. Let me start by welcoming all of you to this meeting. May told me that more than 95 people have registered. That's really wonderful. It shows the spirit and enthusiasm. I want to thank all the presenters and definitely all the participants, and I hope we will have really good discussions today. We're going to have many discussion groups with so many participants. I hope we have wonderful discussions. I do want to also mention to all of you that we need volunteers in Servas. And in Sikoga this year, which is in October, we will have elections to a lot of committees. Servas International has many committees, including the Development Committee, and you have Budev and Jamie from the Development Committee who are going to talk to you today. We also have a Youth and Families Committee, we have an Audit Committee, and we have a Complaint and Resolutions Committee, and finally, of course, the Executive Committee. There are going to be vacancies. There are going to be vacancies in all of these committees, and we are looking for good volunteers who can step up and be part of these committees. Before you do anything, I would really like you to talk to the people who are the conveners of these committees. You want to ask them, what is the mandate of the committee? What is it that you're expected to do over the next 3 years? Remember, it's a 3-year term. Get from them the mandate and the job description. Always please attend 1 or 2 of the committee meetings, because that gives you a good sense of what is needed to be done. In the past, we have occasionally had people who very enthusiastically signed up, but then never showed up. That hurts the committee and that hurts Servas too. So please be sure that you want to be a member of the committee and please join. We really need a lot of people who can help us. We need volunteers like May, who created this meeting, and therefore we are all able to enjoy getting together and doing all of this stuff. So I know we have it in all of us. Please give it a thought. Take a look at all the vacancies, try to find out more for yourself, and please volunteer. Thank you very much. With that, I'm going to pass it back to May to help her continue with this meeting.
Thank you, Radha. Because today we arranged 7 speakers. So time is very limited. So let's have our first speaker. It's from Development Committee. It's Budev for his presentation. Welcome, Budev.
So now during this 22 Chicago, so we got 5 members got elected. So I was there, Jamie was there, who is another speaker, and Evren from Turkey, Pamela from Taiwan, and Neoma from Brazil. And after we started our activities, we have also taken 2 co-opted members, Margaret from USA and Exton from Malawi. And later, after nearly a year, we also added 1 more co-opted member, Shayan Roy from India, who also worked as a youth coordinator from our team. The first thing, as Radha mentioned, that not only you become the volunteer, you have to also be active. So first thing we made in our committee that first Sunday of every month, we will have a meeting. And we have followed that for last 2.5 years. And then at least 4 out of 5 members have attended all the meetings. Also, some of the meetings are attended by our president and vice president, because they were kept as the special invitees. So Radha and Carla joined most of the meetings, and also a lot of times we have invited some other members and from the other committees also to attend our meeting as guest invitees. So the primary responsibility of DC is that we should promote and support development of members across all the service regions. Also, we have, you know, I think all of you know that we have the member countries, those who are having the voting rights in the our Chicago, and we also have countries where the number of members are less than 10, and in that case they are not member countries, we call them the member groups. So the one of the responsibility of development committees is to take care of these member groups and help them, because some of the places they don't have a committee, they don't know how to take it forward. So we actually from development committee, we have created different groups, and one member of the development committee from these groups actually started working with them and helping them to grow and develop. We also, another responsibility we have, that how to increase the membership and how to work with other committees so that we can have the growth of servers together during our tenure. So that is the main thing. If you see about the activities, because a lot of people are asking me what are the different activities you have done. So we have done a number of activities you can see here. In 2023, we have done a Servas photography event. We have done a Servas music event organized by Evren. Then we also started a Spanish language class, which is supported by Delia from Servas, Spain. And other than our own organized event, we have also supported different events, including the Latin American Youth Eco Camp in Brazil. And we also, as I mentioned, we also helped to create new national groups. We, after starting our this term, we try to find out what are the various interests of the service members that they are looking for from the your development committee. And so we have sent a communications to all the members, and we asked one question, because I was being informed that it is difficult to contact service members. So we asked the members that can we connect you with WhatsApp or some other means, and email or other means. And very interestingly, 85.1% has answered back mentioning that yes, we will be very happy to get connected. You can contact us either through email or WhatsApp without any problem. We created this form in two languages, English and Spanish. And very interestingly, the Spanish response was 100%. Everybody mentioned that you can contact. And we also asked different interests, and we found that cultural exchange is having the maximum number of response. People ask for the cultural exchange. Then we have got world peace, we have got environment and climate. So, and these are the various responses we have got. This is the English form, and this is the Spanish form. Among Spanish also, we got same, the cultural exchange, we got the maximum number of response. In 2024, we have we have celebrated this International Mother Language Day. That is, that happens on 21st of February every year. We have done a leadership program for children. We have done this in collaboration with Rotary in Kolkata. Then we supported the Servas Africa conference, and this happened in August 2024. Then also I attended personally with my wife the Servas Great Britain and Ireland International Day of Peace celebration, that is 20th and 21st September 2024. It was a very, very nice event, 2 days event in London. And then we held Latam 2024, and our member, DC member Neuma Dantas, so she attended this meeting. Then we also supported the Peace School Turkey, Peace School Uganda, and also our member Pamela attended Kyushu meeting in Japan. In 2025, we have created also Servas special interest groups, and we have created 4 groups by this time. That is Servas photography, language exchange, music and creative arts, and climate just climate justice and environment. And we have in the website, you can see this contact, this link. Through this link, you can go and you can join also there. So the primary goal of 2025 is that how we can strengthen global engagement and sustainable growth we can achieve, and also enhance member engagements and positively international collaboration. And as you have said that you have seen that we have already contacted with means done programs with Rotary Club, with Lions Clubs International, with PASO Foundation in India, and also some other places. We have already started working with other organizations and international organizations for the collaboration. And positively, one of the new area which we should start is that capacity building and leadership development. That is one area we are trying to engage ourselves, and positively we'll have a lot of discussions during Shikoga 25, and we will start some initiatives from there. So that's all. That is from my side, how the DC is working, and more informations will come in the next presentation by Jamie, who is also one of the member of our development committee. Thank you very much. Thank you, May, for giving me this chance of presenting our activities to this team.
Thank you. Thank you, Budep. And then next one is Jamie. Let's have Jamie also from Development Committee. And after Jamie, it's Taiwan will present.
Right, hello everybody again. I'm going to take a wider look at the future and how to grow service than Budep done. Budep's looked at particular initiatives the Development Committee has. Hello, I'm seeing Claudia trying to say something. So you're mute, Claudia, but does everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thanks. I want to look at how we might do things, extend out what we do in the future. And so I've called my first slide, putting good ideas and intentions into practice. We all come up with good ideas. They don't always get into practice. We need to make sure they do. Next slide, please. So I think we're all familiar with the sort of a diagrammatic indication of our organisation. Service International at the top of this triangle. National groups, nearly all national, some joint national member groups. But then at the regional level, within our countries and groups, that's where a lot of the activity happens. And in my view, it's the role of the member groups and of Service International to support and encourage member activities wherever they may be. Next slide, please. So do we want service to grow? I put this on the registration form you all filled in. 83% said yes. 1% said no. And not sure, 1 in 6 of us are not sure whether service or their service group wants to grow. I think I'd say at this point, it's not just about membership numbers. It's about activities and participation. We want people to be meeting, exchanging their cultures, their ideas, and so on. So it's not just about numbers, but numbers are important. And I put a couple of your comments at the bottom. One said, yes, we do want to grow, but we face challenges to keep members along the years. And in terms of growing service, it's not just about adding new members, it's keeping existing members we need to think about. And the second comment was yes, especially young members. And I think we all know the reason for that. Next slide, please. So from within the 100 or so people who registered for this forum, lots of great suggestions were put down. And they fell into 5 groups. One, more activism, perhaps around campaigning and working with other groups which have our sort of ethos. Secondly, promotion, including, of course, social media. Thirdly, more gatherings, both inside our own member groups and internationally. A lot of support for that. Youth focus or youth engagement. The age profile varies between countries, but certainly in quite a lot of European countries, the age profile is skewed towards the older end of the spectrum, and we need to correct that, or even it out, perhaps I should say. And fifthly, what I've bracketed some various suggestions. Keep doing what we do, but do it better, and make sure we've got the right support infrastructure. Next slide, please. So people suggested various activities they were doing: tree planting, helping with a community medical camp, peace activities at local level, linking with other organisations. That helps our profile. More people get to know about Servas. And a couple of quotes we've had from the replies. Servas should be more involved in social activism, make the change happen. It's down to us to get involved and do it. I think Gandhi came up with that wonderful phrase, be the change we want to see. And the last comment was putting on simple group programs, for example, helping the environment, which express solidarity and bring us together. Sorry, I've got a bit of a bad throat. Next slide, please. So how do we do promotion? Podcasts would be great. Service Britain at the moment is exploring or having a dialogue with somebody who has what's called a travel vlog with over 100,000 followers. She may or may not be willing to give Servas some profile on that. Someone said, how about investing in publication and journalism? We have the most wonderful stories, don't we? Which appear in our international news bulletins and in our national news bulletins. How many of them actually get out to media which are outside Servas? I do think we need to look very seriously at that. And also, some people probably could do with some help on promotional hand-holding or being some training. There could be some resources on servas.org to help us get those news releases out. And one of the suggestions from one of the people here was to design promotional materials to support events and so on. Have them to be on a downloadable basis from the website. And of course, the inevitable social media outreach is important if you know what you're doing. It's not enough just to put a few posts up on Facebook, but a properly planned social media campaign will result in more members, and I hope our internal procedures will make sure they're the members who will join us and will last. Thank you. Next slide. Suggestions around gatherings and youth focus were open some of our activities to non-members. Very easy to do. For example, the next suggestion: invite friends, whether or not they're in Servas, for a meal or a walk. We tend to do that around about the International Day of Peace, or we're doing that in Britain in the for Refugee Week, in which in UK is in the middle of June. That will be open to members and non-members, and I'm certain that we'll get some new members as a result. Budep has already mentioned the new interest groups, which you can see on that link I've put there. Someone said, I want to connect with other members who like cycling. We're starting to create the infrastructure to enable that to be done. Other ideas were to, particularly with in relation to younger members, were to connect with universities, connect with the student groups, and arrange to go in and do some presentations, hopefully before the summer holidays when they all go off travelling. And importantly, we need to push the current youth language exchange, the SILE, which is taken up in some countries but not all, and we need to look at how we can persuade hosts to be part of that. Next slide, please. Okay, these are just some of the suggestions which came up under this theme. What training do we offer? If we go into a new job, a new position, it's very rare we've got all the experience we need to do that. So for some of these positions, voluntary positions, we still need training. That could be done online. That could be done by having some modules on the website, for example. So that would cover a range of things, but includes importantly things like leadership and team building. Service version 2 has come a long way, but there's still further improvements that could be made. I would love to see, for example, some way of actually us having statistics which tell us how many encounters are there between hosts and service travellers. I don't think there's any way we can just easily get those statistics like that at the moment. Thirdly, monitoring and evaluation. That's so important. Otherwise, how do we learn? Everything we do, we should build in from the start how we monitor and evaluate. That will help us all, and then we can share good practice. Some of the comments we had from you put in your forms, we need creative help, said somebody. Maybe they need some help with graphic design or something like that. We need to project a clear message about connecting through travel. And there at the bottom I've put a really important point. Service needs a basic plan to inspire groups and to spread best outcomes. Thanks to whoever in attending here put that in their reply. Next slide, please. So, just for a moment. What's actually stopping us from growing? Do each of your member groups actually put something in your budget to help you grow? Do you have a budget for marketing and promotion? Some people are simply not doing that, just budgeting for ticking over. If we want to grow, we've got to put some resources behind it. Not just for promotion, that helps members from groups to participate in international gatherings. Not everyone can do so otherwise. So it's important that you do discuss with other members of your group what are barriers to growth and collectively think what needs to be done. You may be able to solve the issues locally. If so, great. If not, ask for help. You might go to your national management committee, group management committee, or if you can't, do think about Service International Development Committee. We do have some funds. We do have proper application forms. We do have criteria. Not enough people are probably asking us. Next slide. So I'm just going to have a look at my prompts. Is this the last one? I think it may be. So it's down to us. Don't leave it. Don't say somebody else will do this. I know you're all doing great jobs volunteering in your own groups. And I ask each of us to pose 2 questions. If I don't do it, then who will? If not now, then when? Do think about those and redouble your efforts. And one thing I'd like you to do today, during this forum, put into the chat one thing you'll do in the next week or so to put into practice something you hear about today. Just one simple thing that you'd like to see, you'd like to do. So that's one thing. You could also put down, if you like, one thing where you think you could do with help, so the DC can be aware of those that information when it reviews it. I think there may be one more slide, Carla, is there? No. Okay, I thought, no, that's probably it. Anyway, thanks very much. Hope you found it interesting. Hope you found it stimulating for you to come through with some more thoughts. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you so much. Thank you for Jamie. Spend a lot of time to prepare. And then the next one, I will invite Jojo from Taiwan. And then we will have 4 countries to present. This is because these 4 countries, they have a very high growth rate of membership, amazing number figures. For example, Taiwan from in 2 years, their growth rate is 97%. So let's see what happened and what they did in the past 2 years. Jojo, please.
Okay, thank you, May. How and why in Taiwan growing? It's not because we are perfect. It's just because we build a strategy that works for our people and our culture. We focus today, I'm going to share 4 key things. The first is a different way to join. Some people host, some people may play the role like a day host, and some join just online, and everyone has a place to grow. So, nobody is perfect. So we believe everybody has their own value. So we just accept different people. And the second is a better host education. Jamie also mentioned about education, how we can educate people. No, we don't talk. If you talk, or make a list, people will not listen to you. We need to get together, live together, play together, work together. So it's better you teach people just do it. Just doing by showing them. So for example, like they host, and we just get together, work together. And the 3 key point is support new member. Show them what a day host and traveler means. We have a meaning in our life, not just travel. Otherwise, we are a travel agent or travel like a other NGO, but we are not. We have a meaning. That means that everybody's life, even you are a small potato, it still has its own value. So what is your value? So through our host and traveler, you can find your own value, especially meaning of your life. So it's very important. And the 4th key point for our Servas Taiwan to grow is connect with global issues. We learn from Japan, Takamoto-san, and we learn from Germany, Connie and Hannah, and they organize a small group for us. And we thank you, East Africa and Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania to host us. And also, finally, Korea. Because last year we have a lots of event with Korea together. And not only, regional country connection, we also have a global issue. We join United Nations event, CSW 68, CSW 69. So we also have a youth program not owned by us, but we please Korean Servas to help us to get the funding through their government. Can you believe their government pays Servas Korean, and then Servas Korean sponsor Servas Taiwan youth people to go to Korean to have a peace learning tour. This is something. So this is we use a strategy to leverage our strengths and value, work together. So this is very important. Also, we understand something special about Asia. In Asia, people grow up with family and community first, just like Italy. Okay, so we don't always travel alone. We like a small group, like Italy, a family group and travel together. Yes, we do like that, Asia people. Okay, that's why we plan group trip. It gives people safety, teamwork, and learning together. Yes, we may argue, but we eat together, we cry and laugh together. We learn how to forgive and listen and to support each other. And that's the heart of Servas, is love. Not just perfect people to join Servas, but the real people sharing real life with an open heart. And thank you. This is my report. And thank you, May, because she just published a new book in 2 years ago. And just because of her new book in Chinese, and we are quickly reorganize many small how do you say small promotion event, especially at the bookstore. And she also worked hard, very worked hard. So and give a lots of publicity. I mean the promotion and through the social media, so people know Servas Taiwan. And also we got the sponsor through the strategy alliance with university. Now you see, and also through several big NGO group as Servas, and we work together. So I hope at the now we have a new national secretary, is teacher Shirley Liao. Shirley Liao will join Sikoga this year in Dijon, and you will meet 10 Servas new member, and also senior member come to Sikoga together. And I will always support Servas Taiwan and with international. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Jojo. And the next one is the USA will present, and Tim, the National Secretary of USA, is hiking now. So, but he record a video for us. I will ask Carla can take a break. I will ask Francisco to play this video. And before this video, I would put more something for Taiwan's the very good result is maybe I can say 2 points. One is we publish the new book. Servas is not new. Servas is 75 years old, but public a book is new. So we got a lot of chance to promote Servas on TV, on media, and or organize a lot of sharing experience, meeting, gatherings, so we can hire more members in. And the second point, just like Jojo said, international events is very important to us, because you organize this, so we can encourage our members to join your events. This is very attractive to Taiwanese members. They can join other countries' events. So this also hire a lot of members. So it's our result is also because of you. Okay, thank you. So now it's a USA team from the video to say hello and to do presentation for us.
Hello, everyone. I am Tim Sullivan. I'm the current chair of US Servas, and I'm speaking to you today from lovely Western Iowa, which is kind of right in the center of the United States. And thank you, May, for inviting us to share our story about our growth since the pandemic. And I'm sorry I can't be there today because I'm going to be tromping in the woods someplace. So we'll do a recording. And I'd like to start with the data. In January 2020, before the pandemic, we had about 2,000 members. And by January of 2022, we were down to less than 800. Within 1 year, by the end of that year, by the end of 2022, we had 1,273 members, 51% increase. By the end of the next year, we had 1,829 members, or a 43% increase. Since January of 24, right up till today, we now have 1,991 members. So that's only a 9% increase since January 24. And so what you see is basically this whole time, we've been just trying to get back up to our pre-pandemic numbers. And really, we're pretty happy with that growth. Because of the pandemic, we had to go from a staffed organization to an all-volunteer organization. So that was a big project for us. I know most people on this call, probably maybe all the people on this call, are all volunteer, but for us, we had to learn how to do it, and we had to create a lot of processes. So from 23, 24, 22, we were doing a lot of technology work, a lot of member services work, a lot of recruiting volunteers, and very little effort at least no strategic effort on trying to grow our membership. But it did grow, and I think there's some things that affected that, so I'd like to share that with you. Probably the post-pandemic, there was pent-up demand to travel. So in 22 and 23, where we had the big growth numbers, probably a lot of our lapsed members were coming back. We also lowered our fee from $100 for membership down to $33. That probably helped a little bit. But I think one of the big things that helped us is that we had a great team of volunteers. Today we have well over 100 volunteers, but those volunteers really tried to create great member experiences when it comes to things like an interview, getting an interview promptly, or the renewals, or e-stamps, or questions about anything. I think the volunteer team did amazing work, and I think that really helped us a lot. And then the continued growth, as far as how we advocated for growth during those years, was really just about talking about it in all of our meetings, whether it's a board meeting, an annual meeting with volunteers. We encouraged everyone to invite their friends, family, and people that came in their community to join Servas, to check Servas out. So a couple of ways we did that, specific ways, is when somebody was hosting guests through Servas, we asked them to consider inviting friends from their community to join in that meal, to see how amazing it is to get to meet somebody from a different part of the world. When we had local events, we encouraged people to invite non-members to those events so they could hear about Servas and get to know about us. And so really it was during those years, I think what we did well was we invited everybody that we could think of to join us. So that's kind of those years. Now in 2025, we have now finally have taken a strategic path to try to grow membership, especially membership with youth and young families. We feel like we're an older group and we need to really focus on the young people and get them so Servas can be sustainable over the years. And so this growth initiative, there's many parts to it, but one of the first things we really focused on is trying to make sure we were creating the best experience possible for people that want to join, but also for existing members. So is it easy? What processes could we make simpler when people were joining, for example? So we spent a lot of time working on that. And then we did set a budget for it, and we are going to hire, we're in the process of hiring a branding and messaging organization that can help us with that. And also we will hire experts on digital marketing to make sure our outreach is the best it can possibly be. And there's lots of other opportunities we're talking about looking at, like partnering with maybe language and departments in colleges to look at SILE. So there's lots of different aspects to this plan. The other thing is it's probably not a 1 year and done. It's probably a 2 or 3 year process, just to see how well it's working. Matter of fact, I hope that maybe we'll be invited back next year or 2 years so we can share with you what worked, what didn't work, and really how well this went. So thank you so much for allowing us to share. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me if you'd like, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, team. The next one, we will have Nancy from Canada. It's also National Secretary of Canada. And after Nancy, we should have Bridget from France. And then it's Netherlands. Okay, so Nancy, please.
Hi, everyone. That was a great presentation. I know Tim's not live, so he's not going to hear my compliments, but I think he presented very well some of the challenges that were associated with following the pandemic and trying to rebuild membership. I'm going to start off by saying I don't think we have a magic bullet in Canada. We were, like the United States, we've thought lots about how to increase our membership. But for us, I think it came down to really recognizing that the new website that has been developed by Servas International has been fundamental to our recent growth. And the reason I say that is because the process that we had in the past was clunky. We had our own website where people who were interested would click on a map of Canada, then hopefully the interviewer who was attached to that region would respond. We had no way of tracking whether or not those interviewers were responding. So we had, in the end, we realized that a number of requests just went into the abyss. And I think for us, we lost a lot of potential members because of that. So I'm going to make a big shout out to the team that has worked very hard on streamlining the application process, because I think regardless of how much effort you put into recruiting members, if you can't close the deal with them, there's no point in putting a lot of effort into recruitment, because you need to be able to bring them into the organization. So the architecture and the infrastructure that Servas Online has put in place has really helped us. Someone was asking how many youth members we have. We have 546 members overall. We have 73 youth members, which I think is a pretty high proportion of youth, which is a good sign. We spent a lot of time, we didn't spend a lot of time in the last couple of years doing outreach and recruitment. Instead, we focused on training our volunteers and our team who is responsible for handling the applications. And so we now have a very dedicated team that once we get an application in, it is processed very quickly. It is, we have a team that handles the interview, that we have a designated person that makes sure the interviews happen in a timely fashion. And then we have another individual who monitors the back end to find out whether or not those people who have applied are actually being processed in a timely fashion. So I think that that's one of the key things that I would say. And we also have, we don't want a lot of people sitting in the application time frame. We have templates that are automatically sent out. So we've automated a lot of the processes. Now we have the benefit of having one of the key architects who've worked on the website, Jim Leask, also on our board. And so he has helped to get Servas Canada right up to speed using the database in a really effective and efficient manner. So the other thing that I just would want to say is that there is an international team that is more than able to help any group with the back end and processing applications. The membership management team can provide assistance. So I'm not speaking so much about our recruitment efforts. What I am speaking more about is our efforts at making sure that the people who are applying are getting processed and brought in. Because I fundamentally think that keeping our members is the key, right? I mean, we can spend an awful lot of effort trying to recruit, but if we can't bring them in and then and keep them by having activities, then we risk losing members. So I don't have too much more to say. I'm actually, this is my last day as the National Secretary for Canada. So there will be another National Secretary, Christine Fernie, taking over. She will be going to Sekoga in France. She'll take over in that role for a year. So any questions you might have, I will forward to her and to the team. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Even the last day to do a presentation for us. And so if you have any questions, you can type on the chatting room. Okay, and so later we have a time to answer you quickly. And now we have a bridge from France. All of these countries, USA, Canada, and France, the growth rate is over 20%. To me, it's very high. Okay, so let's have a bridge.
Hi, everyone. The first things I want to tell is that to promote Servas, I think we must share the same definition of Servas. It is very important to be able to present Servas clearly and precisely in order to make people understand what Servas is. And we then must be able to present the purpose of Servas. With purpose means what activities for what objectives. That is hosting and traveling to connect people for peace, to make people meet each other. My second point is that we need to be more visible, to make our purpose more visible. It often happens during interviews that applicants say that they are wondering why they didn't get to know Servas sooner. They tell us that Servas isn't enough known. They would have liked to discover it earlier. Then we have realized that Servas wasn't well known because it wasn't visible enough. We are used to recruiting new members from among our friends and families, but we are missing other people because Servas isn't well known, isn't visible enough. Then we have begun a few years ago to participate to festivals, to exhibitions. There are a lot of exhibitions in France and they attract a lot of people. Then we encourage our members to participate to these events and to set up stands to present Servas and its values. But of course, we choose the festival, the exhibitions we take part in according to their thematic focus and to our values. For example, we can choose festival with Pacific aim or eco-responsible travel or meaningful travel. My third point is that to be more visible, we need some tools. And the first one is a short and clear message, a motto, showing what is Servas. We have thought together in our board a lot about this point, and we have chosen alternative hosting and traveling for peace. Alternative can mean a lot of things, such as respecting respecting the environment, but also caring for the people living in the country we visit, and also hosting and traveling to meet people for a best understanding of them and of their culture. The word alternative can also refer to our values, and this word alternative arouses the curiosity of the people. Then, alternative hosting and traveling for peace. Hosting and traveling are our main specific activities and the thread linking all Servas activities like SILE, Peace School, regional conferences, meetings, and so on. And at last, of course, our purpose is indeed to contribute to peace in this particular way, Servas way. Then we have this motto on our website, on our banner, and on a lot of things like tote bags or backpack protectors. We also have a flyer. Our flyer is a beautiful card created by a young service member who is a designer. Getting a flyer explaining what is Servas is very important, because even if all our communication actions bring in new members, the most important way of recruitment remains people to people. For this reason, I always have 1 or 2 cards in my bag. But I think we still lack posters targeting young people and perhaps other publics who might be interested in Servas. It would be wonderful if we could share some visuals all over the world with these posters. Now, just a few comments on the impact of our communications actions. Being more visible, we got some articles in local newspapers. These articles attracted the interest of our national TV, and I was contacted by a France TV reporter who was looking to do a TV show on Servas. She was very interested in our network of hospitality because of its values. But she was also very interested in the interview as a way of securing hosting. And she asked me if we had a complaints management procedure. The answer was yes. I find these reporters' questions and assessment very interesting, and I think we have to keep them in mind. I'm finished.
For Bridge, wonderful. The TV show is coming to report Servas story. Oh, yes. And next one is from Netherlands, Monique. It's also she will present how to attract more young people to join Servas. Wow, very important. And we invite her is because in Europe meeting already discussed this issue for yes, and get a very good conclusion. So let's have Monique.
Yes. Well, it was very interesting to hear this presentations of the 4 countries who had a large increase of members. And because an increase of members, and especially young members, was the most important topic of a meeting we had in the beginning of this year in Germany. And this resulted because there are a lot of European countries who do have a lot of older members, and it is very hard to find and to attract young members. So we talked about this in Germany, and we have made a motion which we have presented for the SICOGA in Dijon. And this motion will be one of the topics. And I can briefly tell you what this motion is about. It is about growing, but growing especially focused on young members. And with young members, we think about people under 35. And the motion is in 6 steps. The first one is that we wanted to start with a survey, which I have heard before in this one of this presentation, a survey to like a zero measurement to see what instruments do we already have, what ideas are there everywhere in all the Servas groups, what works, what doesn't work. So we suggested to make an online survey about how to get more young people. And well, that's the first thing to do. Second one, then we have collected all these ideas, wishes maybe, or fantasies, and we want to make an international toolbox of actions which are very successful, so we can share them with each other. We heard a presentation from Tim at USA, and he told us he had a strategy plan for youth, for more young members. I am very interested to see his plan. I am making this too, and I can share it with him. I can share it with everyone, so we can learn from each other. So that's the second step, to make a toolbox with all those instruments we can use and we can share with each other to get more young people. Third element of our motion, we think it would be very nice if we construct a very strong bond with the Youth and Family Committee and all the boards or youth coordinators in the national groups, to have somewhere a space, I think, on internet to exchange a lot, to ask questions, to learn from each other. So we should like to have to see the Youth and Family Committee as also as a kind of help desk for all the nations to improve their way of getting more people, spread ideas, and spread as toolbox. Fourth one. It is more about a youth action program, more intense, about regional groups, mutual help, and joint actions. So we are not all apart in all our groups, but we exchange our improvement and our way of doing. Then we should like to have evaluation of this motion on a regular basis, maybe once a year, see where everyone has come to till then, to give each other help and adjust our focus if this is necessary. And then the last evaluation, when we have every one, the last one would be the one we present on SICOGA in 2028. So we think this program would be for 3 years, from this SICOGA in Dijon till the next one 3 years later. And then Jamie mentioned already the last thing we have in our motion, the last element, it's about the budget. There is a budget for activities focused on youth, but we have not a clear view on what this budget, how large it is, what it is meant for, what are the criteria. So we should like to have more transparency about the procedures to get grants for national groups. So this is in short the motion you will see again in the SICOGA program, which is started now on the internet, as I saw it. And I hope you, you will think about it and share with us all the activities and good ideas about getting more young members. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Monique, the very important information. And then now it's if you have more questions for our speakers, you can tap on the chatting room and let the speakers have time to look at. And then maybe later we have time, then we will reply it after small group discussion. So now it's our time for the further discussion. And please, you press on your screen on the bottom, there is a more. You press breakout rooms. Then you will see there are 10 rooms. So you choose the group number you belong to and you join it. Then we can start our small group discussion. Everyone come back. So time is too short, right?
Yeah. Right?
Yes.
Yes, too short.
It's always not enough to everyone. It doesn't matter how long it is, always not enough.
I have a
But we
question.
didn't have 30 minutes. We had less than 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah, so we had very few minutes.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So maybe next time we can extend.
Can I just say something? Can I just say something? I found that, first of all, it was not 30 minutes, it was less, but I think we need for breakout rooms specific questions, because by the time we finished saying, what are we doing here? And hi, and how are you? It was half over, you know? So I think for breakout rooms, it's useful if we have some specific points that we know that we need to get through.
Also, with a group of 10, if you got 30 minutes, that's 2-3 minutes per person, and that can be disappeared. That'll disappear very quickly.
Yes, and I mean, it took us quite a few minutes to connect ourselves in the group, so we had only a few minutes to talk.
Okay, because we say our meeting will finish. I think it's in 10 minutes. But if you have time, you want to stay here to discuss more, and after we finish, you can stay here, and I can extend 10 or 20 minutes for who are very interested, still want to discuss here. But we finish this meeting first, and then we can talk more later.
I'm sorry, I cannot stay longer. And so I suggest that maybe you write to a mail with the points that you will be talking after the end of the meeting. Okay, thank you.
Yes. So, all the speakers, just now you do the presentation. If you found there's a question for you on the chatting room, would you like to have your feedback here?
Okay.
Mike, can I suggest that if anybody's got any questions to the speakers, they can just ask them now. Otherwise, we're going to spend all our time looking down the chat list.
Yes. Okay. So.
And what if we make a WhatsApp group so that we can ask each other in the future?
Oh, that's another thing. So now that anyone you have questions you want to ask the speakers, you can raise your hand.
Yes, I would like to.
Yes, Dinora, please. And your question is?
No, I don't have one question, but I would like to see again my notes and maybe send some questions in the future.
Or maybe we need another meeting to close up, really, but with very precise questions and answers.
Okay, so someone suggests to create the WhatsApp group.
Yes, I did. Because my question is, for instance, I have one question which I wrote on the chat, okay? Shall I? May?
Sorry, say again.
Maybe, May. I have one question which I wrote on the chat.
Yes.
And this is, for me, I understood very clearly what James, I think it's James Robertson, spoke about the United States, how the group grew there. There are some positive factors that make it easier. But I didn't understand how other countries grew. What were the factors that helped them to grow? In a few words, in a paragraph. I need that.
This is why we invite 4 countries to present here to let you know different countries, the situation.
Yes, but okay, I didn't get it. Okay, I didn't get the clear idea in some countries why, how, what helped them to grow.
May I say something? Why don't you talk directly to the people who made the presentation and ask them, and they will, I'm sure, help you. I think it's better. I would do that.
Okay. I have an idea, and after the meeting, I will send if they have the files to the people, so you will understand more.
Perfecto. Thank you. Okay. Yes. Thank you very much.
Any questions?
No, but I think there were very interesting ideas, very focused, very clear, and there is no doubt those are the guidelines that we all should follow.
Beth from Canada, is your raised hand?
Yes.
Okay.
My question, I see that someone else posted it, and I was wondering that too, because is there a policy about who is able to do media information and represent Servas? Like, do you need to have a certain position, or who can do a press release? Who can do an advertisement? Because I think, anyway, that's the question. And I think
I think our Vice President, Carla, is here. Carla, can you answer this question? Because Carla is basically is responsible for media, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not sure if I understood the question, but I think it has to do with advertising service to other people.
Commercial.
If you are here, Radha, if you have the knowledge about service and you have the activism and the will to talk about service to a wider audience and to your friends or in a school or in a university, I think that's a pretty good idea. Yes.
So the message is just do it, and we will assume that people are confident.
Okay, let me clarify. You are obviously allowed to go and talk about Servas if you go to any meeting and talk about Servas. Now, the question I think you are raising is whether we can commercially advertise Servas. And that is a little more difficult question, because you're now going to advertise on a commercial channel and you're going to have a message that will go there. And I think we do have policies. For example, I know that, for example, the US, for example, had a policy on who can actually speak on behalf of Servas. Similarly, Servas International has a policy on who can speak, and how the message must be crafted and so on. So I think you have to be careful that you follow those policies when you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Radha. And any questions?
If I tell in France, in fact, when we have to speak to journalists and on, it is the board who decide, and we discuss in admin committee. For example, when we had the TV show, it was discussed before. We agreed, and it was a team who discussed what we can show and what we don't wish to show. But it was decided. It was the board and the admin committee.
Yeah. But I've also heard about initiatives, for instance, in Italy, where a group of young members of Servas go and speak to schools, and that has had a very positive effect. They are usually young members, but they also go with Raffaella. Most of you know her, and she's a member of the Youth and Families Committee. So, like I said, if you have the knowledge and also the supervision of your national group, and if you are talking to small audiences, of course, I'm not talking about TV shows or articles on big newspapers or something like that. In that case, I agree you should have the supervision or the approval of your national service group.
And
I can give a couple of more examples. 1 minute, Bridget, sorry. When I teach a class, again, I teach at the university, I speak about Servas, but I find it more effective to find somebody else, especially younger than me, if I can, who can come and speak about Servas and explain about Servas to people. So that has good effect. And also, actually, I think the important thing is what Nancy said, make it fairly easy for them to do the follow-up on how to contact somebody and get in touch. I also did another project recently, which is I greenlighted there was a high school where students wanted to do a project. So I basically gave them a project on how they would market Servas to other young people. And these were students who were about 16, 17 years old, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. And they did just an amazing job. And I think the results are with US Servas. And I think I would encourage all of you to get in touch with US Servas and learn more about that particular project. It had the great effect of the students becoming very enthused, the parents and all their teachers becoming very enthused. And I think if we can get that idea across to many schools, that would be very helpful, I think. So again, I think going and talking is wonderful, especially if you can talk experiences, tell stories. It's when you start advertising, and it's a little more complicated, and you have to make sure you follow policies. Yeah. Sorry.
Yes, thank you, Radha. And
Sorry.
Bridge.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yes. I would like to add some things about this TV show. In fact, we didn't present Servas. It was the reporter who decided to make 3 little films. But as talk Joseph, actually, we discussed with this journalist. We make her know what is Servas, and when she presented on the TV the little films, the little movies, she explained who was Bob Rottweiler, what are the values of Servas, but it was up to her to explain that, and it was up to us to explain what we are. And it was she understood very well, and she asked if the TV could make 3 little film, one showing a French member hosted by a French member. The second film was a French member hosted by a host in another country, and it was in England. And the third was about the interview, because as I told you, she was very, very interested in the interview as a way of securing the hosting. And I think our idea was to be more visible. But if we accept to be more visible, we have to accept that people, journalists, reporters, TV reporters, shows what they have understood about our organization. But she was very very smart and very worried about not to present an organization that could be dangerous for the people, for example. And we are in a kind of deal. And I had a little things to add more, not about the TV, because it was only one show, but we have a lot of articles in local newspapers, and then there are that's the same. There is not the coordinator or the president, or no, the reporters meet the people in festivals or in exhibitions, and they ask questions. And as I told you, we have little flyers, and we have communication tools, and then the communication is limited in these excuse me, my English is not very good, but our communication is limited. Do you understand? Encadré. How do you say that, Joseph? C'est encadré. Ah, il en parle.
Contained within?
No, we have a communication very with a border. We don't communicate in any direction. We restrict the communication.
Very focused communication.
Yes, focused. And we don't go everywhere.
Yes. And as Joseph said, if somebody wants to participate to a festival, he has to told us, the board, and we discuss, and we checked if the festival or if the exhibition is according to the Servas values and Servas activities.
Thank you so much. So before we finish, I would like to have our peace secretary, Francisco, to have a conclusion. And after that, if you have time, you are very welcome to stay here for the second round discussion. So Francisco, please.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Rada and Carla, for being here and support the peace activities from the Peace Secretary. This space is precisely for meeting other Servas members around the world. We have members from all the continents. Learn about what other countries are doing, what kind of activities Servas International is running, and also try to do something similar. Two main ideas that I would like to share is, the first one is that Servas International, in addition to having the executive committee, it's also made up with different kind of committees, groups, and teams with members all around the world. that dedicate their time, energy, and resources to strengthen the organization in this mission to promote peace. There is a big network of Servas volunteers working for all the members around the world. And the second idea, as Jimmy mentioned in the presentation, is that each one of us can also contribute to Servas through personal initiatives. Stay in touch with the national group, support the administrative functions, and also propose actions, activities to strengthen the friendship between the members. We are just a few months from Sikoga. Carla put in the chat the link for the motions so you can learn from it and discuss it with your national group. We have just 4 years ahead for the 80th anniversary of Servas. So let's keep in touch and let's work with the next administration in order to make Servas something really special for the next generations. I also want to mention that even though the great presenters in this meeting, we also have the presence of many people that have contributed with Servas a lot, like Marisa, Joseph, Claudia, Nirit, Neuma, Javier, Miriam, Brigitte, many members. So I want to also to thank all of them for being here and support the activities. Thank you very much, May and Servas Taiwan, because they always support us with the technology and the Zoom link and all the technical aspects. Thank you, May, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So we have to say goodbye here and hope
Gracias.
everyone you've got some ideas.
so much.
So
Thank
if
you.
you still have time and energy, you are welcome. Stay here.
All right. Until next
Actually,
time.
here in
Thank you,
Taiwan,
May.
it's midnight.
Yeah. And for
Something
me,
that
it
I
is also it
something
is
I would
quite
suggest
midnight. So,
if
bye-bye.
you were a group leader,
Bye.
Bye from Bolivia. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Thank you, May. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
in terms of engaging with definitely internally with that emphasis on the interconnection, whether it be this way or whether it be a regional, more a lot of regional emphasis. As I repeat that, with climate change and such, travel has decreased. It has come back somewhat since COVID, but that's going to be an increasing problem for Servas. So if you want to engage people, you got to possibly engage the people that aren't likely to be able to fly across the ocean. So.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Those are really good points. Sorry, Brigitte, go ahead if you'd like to say something.
I think,
but we haven't heard from Alexa yet at all. I think we need to give the floor to Alexa first, and then because we want everyone's voice to be heard, maybe you could go next, Brigitte.
Sure,
So sorry. So Earl, you finished, right?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay. So we have Alexa. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Deirdre. Yeah. So I was very fortunate. I got to travel with my parents as a young member, and now I've just joined as a youth, kind of disconnected from my parents' membership. And it's definitely true. I don't think I would be able to travel like this on my own if I wasn't supported by this scholarship that I have. But I know a lot of young people around me in university that share a lot of the same values as Servas, but don't have the means to travel. And so especially after coming to this meeting, I'm thinking a lot about the ways that we could engage people more locally within a city and get more members that are just more interested in sharing their lives, their experiences more locally. And one big thing I was thinking about is, as I'm 20, well, not quite yet 20, I'm 19, so still pretty young. And one of the things that I was noticing is that I think you guys have Facebook groups, but I use Facebook maybe like once a year or less. Like, I don't use it very often. And I think a lot of young people are using a lot of different social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram. And being able to share things on there, I think would reach a lot of people that are university aged. And university aged would be a great time to kind of reach these people who are looking for peace. It's when a lot of young people get involved more deeply in activism and peace building and trying to build community around them. So I think being able to reach these people, student unions, might be great to connect as well. You can make chapters at universities of different organizations. So if that's something that people are interested, like people could go and table at their activities nights at universities. And what would be really, really cool, I moved from Vancouver to Montreal for university. And I didn't know anyone when I first moved. And I was actually moving in. I stayed with a couple Servas hosts. And you know, they let me stay there while I could move all of my stuff into residence, and my parents came with me, and just we got to stay for a couple of days to move me in. But what I would have really loved is some people that were more my age that could have showed me around the city and gotten me a little bit settled in, said, you know, hey, if you ever need a buddy to study at the library, or you want to go to a cafe sometime, like I'd love to do that. And I think building that kind of community would be really awesome. I don't know if there's a way to have that kind of university hub, but it would be great not only for people within Canada, but we have a bunch of international students coming to study at McGill in Montreal. So you can share that without even having to travel to a different country. You're getting these perspectives from people who grew up in different countries. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. Would love to answer any questions you have, but I'll pass it off to whoever else wants to talk.
Wow, very good to hear the young people the comments. And Jamie.
Yeah, hi. 2 really good contributions there, I think. Earl, how to be inclusive, how to make sure we're inclusive. It's tough in current economic conditions in many countries. It isn't just within, let's say, the more developed countries. There's whole countries in Africa where it's tough for the majority of the population. So we really do need to try to think if there's some way we can ease that or help that. I know a little while back, Service Britain was thinking of suggesting to other, let's say, more well-off countries generally, whether we can establish some sort of solidarity bursary scheme. I don't know. It hasn't really progressed, but it's something to think about for the future. And of course, there is always travel within a country. I know if I go from my gentle rural southwest England up to the northeast or the northwest, it'll be a very different sort of, not absolutely different culture, but definitely different. So even traveling within the country can bring good encounters, good exchanges. Alexa, I liked your suggestions. It really does need younger people perhaps to be part of that marketing or thing, because some of us have never really gone there, and that's why I was questioning whether at central level, either nationally or internationally, we have the expertise or somebody who you can drop a line to say, how do I start? How do I go about this? Or even better, if there could be some sort of tutorial video on the website, so it's easy to pick up these things. But all very relevant points, of course. And also, talking about younger people, okay, they probably haven't got accommodation which they can offer to share as a overnight host, but to have them being day hosts in just the situation you're saying, if you go to a different city and you know, how do I get the lowdown on this city, that would be a really valuable role for them, and I think that's something we can encourage. Thank you.
Rhoda, please.
Yes, thank you. So I actually wanted to basically echo some of the things. I want to summarize, if you say so. I think not all travel needs to be international. I think local, regional travel, we need to encourage more. I personally got a lot out of traveling locally and regionally in the US. And I know that there are people in Europe who have told me stories about having, relationship with other cities and so on. I think we can't travel that often internationally. It's very expensive and very other. But so if you want to really establish relationships and really establish a common cause, it has to be a lot more local. And I think we need to promote that as having more local activities within our organization, so that we can keep people together. It's also a fact that we are worried about too much carbon, et cetera, and some people, like in Africa, they can't travel, and so that's a problem I can't solve, because if somebody from Africa wants to come and my government refuses to give a visa, I can't do anything about that. But maybe we can get around that by saying, it's not just travel, it's how we connect. Can we find other ways? And I'm not sure I have heard everything, but can we find other ways where we can connect? Because really connecting is what we are talking about. The point about day hosting, I think, Jamie, that you made is one I wanted to make myself. I was recently in Italy and this lady hosted me, so I stayed with her. But I think what really made a huge difference was that I basically asked her to day host me, and she showed me around Rome. And I had such an amazing time. And I think even if she had not hosted me for the night and just taken the day to show me around Rome, it would have been absolutely remarkable. It's actually made me rethink, because people come to my house, I stay slightly away from the city. And so it's a more comfortable room, and not so many police sirens at night, which you would hear if you're living in New York. So you get a more comfortable sleep. But, I don't often accompany people. I just tell them, okay, I'll drop you at the train station, and then you go see the city and come back. And I think I'm going to revise that. I've done a bit of this. I think once in a while, maybe I will take people around and show them the city. And I think I think it's a huge resource. And I think if we can get more people to say that this is so much more valuable. So don't worry that you have a tiny apartment so you can't host. You can actually add a lot of value by being a day host. And I think that would be something that would be very important. One last thing I wanted to mention was that when SILE first started, we call it SILE here, SYLE first started, in the US, there were 2 scholarships. So they gave any 2 young people who wanted to travel, I think $1,000 each, $500 at the beginning before you started your travel, $500 after you came back and made a report. That was pretty generous. I don't know if we can do the same thing, but I do think we could institute a system of scholarships in a variety of countries, and that, would help, a lot of young people who are planning a budget trip and want to backpack and so on. And they get to learn. And I think when I go around hearing people's stories about their membership, there's just a remarkable number of people who traveled when they were young. And, they never lost it. So they may not have been very active for a long time, but they never lost it. They came back. and they stayed as members and they contribute. Okay, so I thought, and I just wanted to mention these because I think if we can think about how we can take this formula and extend it, it might be very helpful. So anyway, I welcome your thoughts too.
Thank you, Radha. And anyone?
I just wanted to add to what Rod is talking about, or even this concept of day hosting. One of our Servas members in Ottawa organized with a historian for Servas members to tour the city, and as it happens, I couldn't make it with the conflict, but the merit there of enabling me as a host to go out there, and we've got people coming on Monday, and I'm doing all kinds of research to put on a good tour for the Servas visitors, and doing this in our regions to take advantage. And you're talking about building a skill set. The last part of building our skill set as a host is to know the history of your area. I mean, I'm relatively new to this city, so that it's very important for me. But that's something we can consider in terms of empowering ourselves to host better and make it more of an experience.
Jamie, please.
Yeah, just
I want to say something. These meetings, even this little last meeting and the presentations give us too much information. So can you help us with tips given in the presentation and also in this discussion to help us to remember the good ideas that are given for all the expositions and also this discussion? Tips or some synthesis, the main ideas of the presentation or the group discussions. Can you send us this information? Do you understand me?
Mike, do you want to respond to that first?
Okay, and Javia's idea. Okay, I may ask the ChatGPT to do it.
Well,
my idea is we received in this last 2 hours too much information, ideas, examples of activities. So my question is, will you give us some synthesis or some information to help us to take make the implementation of those ideas?
I got it. So I try to, but I cannot promise now. I try to do my best to see how can I to do this. Yes, and then
yeah, I thought just on that point. I hope the various presentations could be certainly anybody who's produced a written document to present to. I would hope that could be circulated to the people who've attended, because that does act as a prompt. The point I want to make now, though, I'm just picking up on actually Jojo's presentation, which I thought was an excellent presentation. And she talked about it's part of the culture of Taiwan and Southeast Asia, to go on group visits. And I'd just like to say that about 3 weeks ago, a group of members from UK were invited by Servas Normandy in France for a weekend to join with them while one of their cities was celebrating its 1000th year anniversary, and it was fabulous. Really, yeah, about 25 of us went across and had a fantastic time, and of course we're now going to invite them over, we hope, back to England at some point in the next year or two. We don't do many sort of group, well, sorry, my country doesn't do many sort of group visits, but I came away with that feeling really refreshed, really invigorated, really tired. But it was fabulous. And I think we could do more of that, perhaps with our near neighbours. Yeah, that's the easiest to do, isn't it? And it cuts down travel costs and so on. We've always, I mean, in the time I've been in service, it's been very much the emphasis has been on individual visits or family visits. But yeah, group visits can help you learn. It doesn't mean to say just because you may be talking with your own members in your own country in your own language, it doesn't mean you're not learning from your hosts in the other wherever you go to. So I just thought that's something I think we will be doing more of in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. This is Jojo. Thank you. I have to say how we start the youth group in Taiwan. So first, I found there is a critical point. The critical point is Korea. They have a government sponsor money budget there. So I encourage National Secretary of Korea to write a proposal for me, okay, to let their government think Korea Servas has this ability to train Taiwanese young people. And as you know, Taiwanese young people, just like all young people in the world, they all like K-pop, Korean dance, Korean.
Oh, right, yeah.
Everything. I traveled to Germany for a month. The young people I met in German train, everyone thought I am from Korea. They all ask me, do I know this movie star or singer or whatever? You know, they all want to come to Asia. But as you know, Taiwan, Japan, and Korea, we are an island. So if you spend a lot of travel money to Asia and you didn't have any support, and that's too bad. So I decided to use this try and arrow to see what happening. Okay, and as you know, young people are very treasured in my country and as well as in Korea. Okay, so the mother, father, they control them very, they protect them. They protect them very well. So we need to have a very, how do you say, we have a sophisticated plan for them. And also we have to connect with their university, not just we recruit some youth, some from somewhere. We cannot do that. And also we have to block if they are boyfriend and girlfriend, they join Servas and they got trouble. Okay, there is something happened. We heard a lot of things in Taiwan. So and we are lucky enough because we have 3 professors from the university as our Servas member. Okay, so they're willing to help because they understand Servas spirit. So during that, they recruit their student to join our special program that is more trusty and safe. And so because I am the one executed in my in the past years with Korean Serva. So we make decision very quickly and we just practice, and then unfortunately, yes, those 10 students, only 2 still our Servas member. The 8 lost. But think about this way, like Bob said, if we place a seed, this is the only 10 young people we gave this scholarship to Korea. If we have hundreds of young people from Taiwan, and those people also can co-op with the young people in Korea, that's how Servas Korea think about that. And now Servas Japan want to join because Japan also, you know, there are many young people want to go to Japan to study, to earn the job. So we 3 countries, we have our strengths And also we need the young people to join Servas. And we also would like to host young people and to help them to grow, to get a job, to have a have a future good life. So, and also, by the way, why we have strategy alliance with the Providence University, because this university in Taiwan, in Taichung, is a Catholic university. Because many European country is a Catholic country. So I do believe if hook with the Catholic University, and they will have lots of government scholarship, and also so we have one young man from German. He studied at the Providence University for 6 months, and also was a host, and they host by our Taiwanese member. So that is also happen a lot of mutual activity. So I do believe a small group can make a big change. And also, by the way, the senior people, I have to tell you, in my country, if you age over 70 years old, you cannot join the tour company. The tour company requests you have your family member be your like an endorsement. Otherwise, you are not allowed to travel with the group. So nowadays, Servas become a second choice, become another choice, even though you don't speak English well. But if you join the small group, get together, like this trip, we went to Korea. Korea people also don't speak English. They seldom speak English. But this time we went there, we found one thing. Just because they launched this Discover Korea uh, as a gathering assembly, as a general assembly, they recruit lots of middle-aged young people from Korea. Because you know why? I asked one 38 years old young man. He told me he can't believe his eyes. There are 120 people gathering, and there are 20 foreigner come to his country, and he just joined Korean Serva for 3 months, and he admired senior elder people from Servas, because he said he couldn't find the traditions, the way to learn. And those Servas member, they keep the traditions. So that's one reason he's an elementary school teacher. And he told me he admired those senior member in Servas Korea. So even we don't speak English each other, we just but it's a small group visit together. I think this is a quite good connection. So next year we will keep continuing to liaison with Korean and also Japan. And this is how we regional we can do. And by the way, I have to say this word. Actually, this idea originally from Germany, because Connie and Servas Japan also organized a 10 small group people to visit Germany, and they have a wonderful memory, keep continuing 3 years until now. So my host in Japan told me this story, so I keep continuing contact them. So I think this is something, I may not agree with somebody, but I still belong to some small group. We get along well each other. So that is inclusive. I even don't understand, don't like some people, but I still can keep an eye. I mean, we can play together, sing together, and live together. That is a peace. So I think this is something we can grow up. And that's how, we don't turn down some people. I mean, me, okay, I never fire anybody, even I don't like him or like her. But I think that is inclusive. Everybody has its room, can grow, and give them a chance to grow. That's it. Thank you.
Radha, please. And then after Radha is Earl. Oh.
Sorry, I'm muted. I said I've got to go, so I'll just say a couple of points and then leave. I think I wanted to say that growth happens at the local level. So we have to work locally to grow. So each country, each region has to work to grow. And I got a couple of points. I hope all of you got some ideas on how you can do what you can. And if you are also a national secretary or somebody who is volunteering, got some ideas on what you can do, I think that would be the important thing from this. I personally got a couple of things. One was that I would be more of a day host once in a while for somebody who comes. And the other idea that I got is if somebody from Servas comes to my house, I would invite other people also to come so that they can get a sense of what it is like when somebody from somewhere else comes. So at least two ideas that I thought I could take from this. And I hope all of you, when you leave at the end of the day, can think of other ideas that you can personally do and ideas that you can take to your national groups to grow. And I want to thank May. And May, this is really a wonderful meeting. And I think I got a lot out of it. And I hope everybody else did. I'm sorry I can't stay any longer. I have to go out. And I stayed as long as I could. Thank you very much. And Alexa, I'll see you in about a month. Yeah, bye.
I have to also go. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Jim just came.
Yes. Sorry I was late. I couldn't get in earlier. But yeah, I'm glad I caught the end of it. So nice to meet everyone. So was Nancy Palardy talking a little earlier at this meeting?
Yes, she was. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. She had asked me a couple of things about it. So that's good. I'm glad she had Canada's input there.
We actually have a Deirdre it's a vice chair of USA. Would you like to say something? Because the team is not here, but I think most of us, we really love Tim's presentation and we got a lot.
Yes, I think he's a very thoughtful leader and we're fortunate to have him in this role. And it was important that he's sharing our story, but there are so many individuals involved. And the idea of focusing on the member experience and our capacity to welcome new people is critical. And I've heard it mentioned over and over, if someone applies and they languish, that it reflects on the entire service experience. So I'm really delighted that he was so concise in his points. And I am happy to share the details as we evolve. I think that hiring the expertise that we have is a big leap for us to make that kind of investment. Of course, I have anxiety because I've come into an organization that's relatively small, and with the kind of exposure that they're structuring us to receive, I hope that we can meet the moment with our values first, and that the ideas that I heard today, I will be so excited to share with the board and with Tim. I'm very excited about the idea of representation on university campuses. But I also think that the old school things like armchair travel at libraries and senior centers, to honor the folks who may no longer travel themselves, but have the stories of a lifetime. We have to capture all of that. So May, please tell me if you have something specific that you'd like me to speak to.
Okay, thank you. And actually, next time we may the Peace Forum, the topic maybe we will the topic will be how to attract more young people to join Servas. We will have one more for this topic, so we may.
I'd like to apologize to Brigitte for interrupting when you were speaking, because I love to hear what you have to say. And I just wanted to make sure that we elevated the youth voice during the course of our meeting, but I look forward to meeting you in person.
Don't worry. I wanted to say that we can travel too in the area, in the country, but Jamie told that no problem.
Can I just, just a question, or not a question, a sort of comment to Deirdre. I understand the sort of anxiety you're expressing about hiring in external help. To me, one of the most important things in that relationship is how you framed the terms of reference for them. I'm just wondering whether that you needed a lot of debate within your board to come up with that.
I think that that's very interesting, because we did have pointed questions because there was a real misalignment in our sort of marketing stream and the sort of the overall board ethos around what is it that we're marketing. We are not primarily a hospitality travel organization. We are also peace building. We are community building. How do we refine for that? But I think that we had to ultimately show trust in the volunteers who were committed to that process. And so in the end, we said, we trust that you will review all of the responses to the request for proposals, bring us the ones that you are most excited about and share why. And then we'll take a vote at that point. So we're trying to balance respect for the volunteers and their efforts with what the goals are. And I want to say, just for the record, that transparency is my lifeblood. So I will be asking many pointed questions along the way that still respects the expertise of the individuals that we're paying. But I want to make sure that that we are welcoming in the ways that we can support. I don't know how else to say it, but thank you for asking the question.
Yeah, well, I'd be interested in perhaps you sharing things a bit down the line.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. So anyone want to stay longer?
I woke up with this meeting, please. I'm on to my
now
day.
It's 1 o'clock in Taiwan. And
thank you for staying on.
So we have to say goodbye here, and we will meet a bridge in October in France. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So next time, how to attract young people to join Servas? It's next Peace Forum. We will meet there. Bye.
Okay. Thanks for sharing. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.